at 5,
Go
it's
ahead.
5 p.m. We'll call the meeting to order.
Is it doing it?
Yeah, it's recorded.
Okay. We have, this is Greg. Good night. He's here from Gardner's Insurance to talk to us about our insurance policy we have. We had, questions about it going up and all that. And the cyber insurance and also the property insurance here and liability. And Ed is the head of the Democratic Party for Jefferson County. And Corey is a multifaceted person that came to fix my owl without me having to read all that stuff.
He's an owl technician and a trustee from Saluda Township.
And he's on the fire.
And the fire department. Yeah.
And all I had to have was a $10 cord, wasn't it, Corey?
$10 cord made it all work.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Technology is great.
Everything in
when it
life
works.
is that easy.
I know. If you had somebody to write it down and show it to you.
She called, she goes, so what is this all about? I said, don't even worry about reading it. I'll just come
Yeah.
over one day and we can go through it and
Make it work.
Perfect.
So my old business on here was the owl recorder had been installed for our meetings, and all the meetings will be recorded and they're saved for 90 days. And Corey says I may need more memory on here, storage, but as of right now, we're going to be probably okay. New business.
Is it by time or is it by 90 days or is it by
the time of the meeting?
the length of time that's on storage?
What do you thought? No, so the storage, so the only reason I said that on storage is that she's got that computer has a large hard drive on it, so it has a lot of space. Only problem is as you start filling that space up, the computer itself slows down.
Right.
So like what I've done for Saluda Township, all of ours are going on. I bought a $120 external hard drive, piling every one of them on that external hard drive.
Yeah.
That way it's not on the computer. It doesn't slow it down. It's cheap. It's not.
Right.
And then that way, if by some chance, we've already experienced a FOIA request, that information request that I think you guys got one a while back too. Well, that lady sent us, because we were more involved with the solar than the rest.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted everything.
All of it.
And so at least this way, if something like that happens, I can say, boom, there's all the meetings, you can take them and run, you know what I'm saying?
But we can archive it in one place and have it and
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
perfect.
this is
And the
something new.
90-day thing is, the 90-day thing is the requirement from the state to save those. But like I told Terry, it's nothing especially with the hard drive, it's nothing to save them forever.
Yeah, exactly.
It really, it is.
Do you have the money in the budget this year right now?
Probably. I'll need to look, but I think under other.
Go ahead and grab
I'd say
one.
I'll make a motion that if we have the money in the budget to go ahead and purchase
Okay.
that
Okay.
for the extension on the memory.
All in favor?
Second.
Ron seconded.
In the, we had that one account where we had extra money for all
Yes, that's,
supplies.
yes, we
and
did.
whatnot.
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought it was there, but
I don't have my paper.
I slept since then.
Yeah, me too. But I think that's important.
The first thing that you have to talk about is each of you got a copy of the resignation of Lucy J. Anderson, trustee, as of December 31st, 25.
Right.
And that is the reason why Mr. Stiegel is here. What? Ed? I know, but I didn't know whether you wanted me to call you that or not. Ed and Kirsty, they knew each other. So when I called him the other night, it was like, oh, home week. We had to catch up on everybody. She went to school out there. Review and discuss a policy for assistance. This is the policy. You don't have to do a thing with it tonight. I just want you to look at it. This is what the Madison Township trustee does.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't mean that this would have to be done every time, but it is, I think it's a good foundation to have for your triple dippers.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and when it comes to establishing these policies, the board's decision anyway.
Mhm.
So it's not necessary to wait on the appointment of a trustee.
Right,
As long as we have a board to discuss and vote, we can establish a policy.
I think
I think it's very reasonable.
I think it is very reasonable.
Well, it's, and I've seen this before, it's simplistic and you're not asking for anything that any reasonable person, everybody, they should have this
Let
anyway.
me just read it out loud, okay? The policy for assistance. An emergency is required to receive help from the township government. Requires a copy on file or appropriate energy disconnect notice or rental eviction notice. A valid government issued picture ID, proof of the insurance is required before any service will be offered.
Address proof.
And proof of address, excuse me. Any help can only be given twice a year. Utilities once a year, rent once a year with an eviction notice, food twice a year, and any help must be 6 months apart.
One thing that, not to compound what you do, one thing that we do in Saluda is we've got a monetary cap for each household. So ours is 500 per household, annually. So that kind of.
Going back through
that.
2025, what have you seen come through here?
I've seen big amounts. I've seen, somebody will come in and I'll think, well, it's going to be like $800 or something. And it might be 200, but that's one of the things we do not do. We do not wait for eviction notice.
How long have you done that $500 cap, Corey?
Actually, we had to increase it because of the cost of it.
Exactly.
It's been a monetary
Yeah.
caps for
Okay.
a long time. And then that way, because the downside is sometimes one of the questions is that they have asked me to ask is, if somebody brings me a bill that say it's on disconnect and it's for $700. If I pay our 500 of that, do you have a way, can you assure me you have a way to be to pay for your 200 portion? Or are you gonna wind back up on disconnect right next month? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Or stay on
And
disconnect.
so,
Yeah.
or,
And
stay
you don't
on
want to
it.
waste your money if they're going to do
right.
that.
And for the most part, I think the most, we're all limited on our budget.
Right.
Our tax intake is like 7,500 a year or something like that towards our township assistance. We budget 15,000, obviously, like you guys. We have some in the bank that we can access if we needed.
Right.
But yeah, that 500. And now there are times that I'll say, hey guys, here's the situation. Can I go to 650? And we do that. So,
Yes.
so it's not like it's a hard no, but
Well, it kind of takes you out of it.
yeah.
Once they've met that
Yeah.
takes you out of it.
Because there are some people that are, there's one lady I was like, look, we've already talked 3 times this year. I already took you over your 500 once. What do you expect from me now? Then that kind of ties it makes me not have to feel so bad on the
That's what I
inside
mean. It does.
by turning them away. It really does. So, because you got to have enough for the pot. And this fall has brought up a great example when SNAP benefits were in question. I sat in on a lot of the meetings with the Community Foundation and the Bethany Legacy folks, and another week of not having SNAP benefits, and we were all in this whole community, in the whole area, is gonna be like,
In panic mode.
where are we gonna be? Because the food banks were getting low, everybody was starting to get really strapped, and we were a week away from, door knockers about food. So, you just have to be able to divide it. When you only get 7,500 to 1,500 or 15,000 a year, and you got, half of your residents that are on disability or on SNAP benefits already, that could get pretty dicey.
And luckily, I only had one person come in and strictly just ask, I just need food till I can get my benefit,
Is that $500 a year or $500 like twice a year?
Annually. That's it.
Annually, okay.
Yep.
And yours is $500 cap per person,
Per
not
household,
$500 utility, $500 rent.
Per household.
per household. Yeah, per household.
Well, then it lets you, like, it takes him off the hook, but then it also allows him to be able to research a situation, like you said, and call and say, hey,
Yeah.
you know,
But it can
And
be,
I
it can be
will.
a fluid number though.
yes.
Yes, there are, one of the big things, and this even comes from not just locally, but, I do attend like the state convention and stuff like that. One of the big things that they're pushing is, and for us to, one of the main questions, are there school-age children in the household? If there are school-age children in the household, a lot of these types of rules almost can get thrown out of the window.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We personally are a little hard-nosed on these rules when it's somebody that just,
Not
I know
attempting
that
to work or not attempting to,
they go online and they give me, because we have a requirement, you have to have, if you don't work, you either, and I've tried to offer help, I have some folks,
Terry has to.
yeah, and they don't, and all they'll do is they'll go online and they'll submit 3 electronic job applications. I know that they're not, even if they get a call back, I know right now they're not gonna go because they've done this all 3 years. What's gonna happen in this coming February? They'll say that same couple of households are gonna call, they're gonna regurgitate the same 3 electron, so when I have the ability to say, look, here's our policy, it is what it is,
And for me, school age children, that's important, and if there are school age children in the home, we definitely need to be flexible with that, and veterans as well. I mean, there are veterans that get down on their luck, and, I don't know what the need is in Hanover Township, because we don't talk about specifics like that, but, veterans and
there is a place on our form. It asks if you're a veteran or
Yeah.
not.
Do you, think we should put the $500 limit on this if we're gonna adopt a policy?
I think that we should have a limit that's fluid, like Saluda Township does, for example,
Yeah.
but, if there's a greater need, then, we can talk about it and amend that stipulation. And especially if there's children in the household or a veteran, or, if, depending on the need, we're not here to judge anybody, but,
We kind of need a guideline.
Yeah.
To work around.
Right. But
If you want to add something like that to it.
Okay, so we'll do, can we pass that the next?
Yeah.
Yeah, would that be good?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll work on
yeah,
it.
put it in our language,
Okay,
and then at the next meeting.
You could almost make a form that has the check, line in front, and you could check off those, so you would know when somebody's doing it, have they met those things?
oh, yeah.
To keep a file.
Well, and he says that he keeps his public,
Yeah.
right there on the counter.
Yeah, have the rules right there.
Right
and
there,
then-
so there's no, you don't go in and make out an application if you were here 2 weeks ago.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
But then, like Laura said too, internally, you can make up a checklist so that you can have a
Mhm.
file and.
Mhm. Signing of the Hanover Township Fire Company, contract. The fire company has signed all of them,
Okay.
all of it. And it's exactly the same, only the dates have changed.
So that's
You got-
unusual. Sometimes it takes.
I was gonna
6
say,
months.
usually they don't, we're waiting on them.
Getting things done,
We're Johnny on the spot.
getting things out of here.
I
Wanna,
don't know what color it is.
I don't mean
Is
to
it
jump
black?
in on your meeting.
Here.
Is it possible for me to speak on that contract? Because we've reviewed it with the company.
uh-huh,
Is that something that's appropriate now or
Yeah.
at a later date? I don't
She's
wanna-
getting this black.
can I get 2 more things signed?
Of course, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I'll make sure it's a good one. This is just something little that I'd already had typed up, and I thought, well, I'll go ahead and do it. It says it's about the mileage. Lucy had the mileage at 49 cents. It's 70 now.
Yeah, the federal.
Not that we give it, I think I got it one time when I went to French Lick to a meeting. And then it also has $25 for if you go to a meeting, like training or something. But those aren't something that's never been used, but I just want to
Sure.
have it there.
Oh, we need to have it updated.
Mhm. Mhm. So you guys can sign that.
We're waiting.
Oh, waiting on a pen, aren't you?
Mhm. We all came prepared.
Well, I have a pen, but I don't know if it's black. I won't know till we sign it. So
Here you go.
I used to say I was good salesman and carry pens, but.
that's right. It probably is black.
You're a different kind of salesman.
Yeah, I know.
So I got one in my pocket after years of carrying a pen.
Dad always did the joke. He'd show you a pen and say, this pen writes any color you want. And he'd say, give me a color. And then he'd spell the word. Those of you who know my dad,
Oh, yeah.
that was a Melvin joke. This writes any color you want. You know what I'm talking about, don't you, Greg?
Very well.
He probably did that joke on you.
And this is just another little thing that we need to have signed up before, like around January. And I just thought tonight we could clean that up because I'm not gonna pay myself that extra $2 if I don't have the sign, so,
Absolutely.
okay?
Yeah.
And it just lists the income,
Is that the last thing we need to sign? Because then I will leave after.
okay.
You was marking the car.
He went to get his coffee.
Oh.
He's like, how long you gonna be in? I said, about
15
15
minutes.
minutes.
Be safe.
Well, I just hope the weather doesn't come. Yes.
No,
Merry
it's not
Christmas.
till morning, I don't
I hope we
think.
get back.
Oh, yes.
Christmas program, Grand
Hey.
Christmas. program.
You stop at our house and spend the night in the
That's right,
basement.
we will.
That's right. Knock on the door. Okay, Greg, you have the floor.
Well, thank you. Greg Goodnight with Gardner Insurance. I don't think I've met everyone in the room.
Not me, I know
Yes.
that.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I'm Greg.
Greg
Goodnight.
Sanders.
Greg Sanders, pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
I got to meet him a couple of months ago and then had a question.
That's good.
Worked out really good.
Yeah, and that's kind of, I think there are a few things probably questioned you may have for me. Pricing's always of concern. I don't know anybody that likes to pay insurance premiums, myself included. We're not seeing them go down necessarily. So kind of a product of the bigger picture, so to speak. And we talk bigger picture here with public entities and whether we're a township that provides welfare assistance of nature such as this one, or we're a county or we're a city or town that have more operations. We kind of all fall under that blanket and we're all sharing that risk. So public entity space has been hit harder probably than any others, counties more specifically than that's townships, but you're all in that boat together, right? You're all sharing that risk at some level. So, and I always say this cautiously too, because we kind of look and we assume we do less than a county or this or that. We don't provide this, that, and the other. We have law enforcement. We don't do, water, sewer, utilities, etc. But I would tell you that in the public entity space, a wrongful act claim, which is probably the largest exposure almost for certain for this entity, it happens. And so those claims, no matter how small you are where it starts, those claim costs can actually still be there because you're serving the public, of course. So, so one of the things, and I kind of run through the coverages, but I also wanted to talk about the contract that we received that it looks like we just signed. The carrier's take on kind of tightening up some of potentially the language, and I think it's already been adopted, it appears just now. So, but additional insured language on the fire departments. And I know we sent that email, Terry, to you. So it was really around number 3 and 7 of just kind of updating the contract of sorts. I don't think it really puts anyone in a different position. It just kind of closes some potential gaps you may have. So in particular, do we obtain a certificate from the fire department annually when we sign that? Do we get a proof of insurance of any kind from them?
No.
Okay, so that would be something we certainly, anybody we contract with, that we kind of, even if they want to see ours, we can trade and say, hey, this is what we have, this is what you have, this is where we're at. So additional insured language, because you are contractually, in a contract with them to provide fire services as it spells out here, you want to be sure that if you're drawn in as a township to actions that they take per contract, that you have the ability to sit back seat on their policy if you're drawn in. It's not that you're not fighting the fires, you're not providing those services, you're a separate entity. All those things are true, but just tighten up anywhere there might be some gray areas so that everyone's protected essentially. And we serve a lot of fire companies as well. And one of the things that typically, and I don't know who they're insured with, haven't seen their certificate, I'd be happy to take a look at it when you receive it. Those are common practices to pass certificates around, as I think most of you all are aware of. And so that way, again, everyone's on the same page. And most of the time, the fire policies that we serve or companies we serve, they're going to have a lot of blanket additional insured endorsements. So they're probably already included in the pricing they're paid. So they're not going to incur additional. It's just a matter of tightening up and protecting one another. I would probably recommend next year that language is officially in the contract as well. It's also commonly for risk mitigation that we put hold harmless agreements in there. It's just meaning we're going to hold one other harmless for our own separate action, right? We're contractually, in a contract together for these services, and it just cleans it up and tightens things up. The carrier is also able to put what's called a products completed operations exclusion, so that there's no way that you can be drawn into fire action suits, right? So Ron, it's kind of forming or coming forth from your question from that point forward. So again, tightening up that contract, maybe that language, with us signing it, are they willing to come back and kind of tie up that language after the fact? Is that something that's done next year? Either way, it would be a highly recommended. And I see this a lot of times, we've been in contract for who knows how long, right? Long time, I'm sure. And so it's just as time and things evolve and language evolves, we want to be sure that everyone's protected, and that nobody's in places they don't intend to be, and then they're drawn into it. And then those are the situations people don't forget, right? So that would be something, and I'm happy to kind of further that conversation after this and kind of, but I would, anybody you're in a contract with, obtain a certificate annually from them when you sign that contract so that it's on file. Everyone knows. We're always happy to review it, send it to your carrier for their further review. That again, to make sure that everything's kind of where it wants to be. So,
Okay.
Is there specific language that you're actually asking for us to implement? I'm one of the trustees of the firehouse.
Okay,
so-
yeah. So essentially it would just be that the township is listed as additional insured per contract because you are contracted with them.
It's just like my
It's a
school
common-
bus.
yeah,
I'm contracted,
Yes.
and I also have Southwestern
So
schools on my policy.
So think of an additional insured language. There's a million different forms, so keep that in mind as well. But this is very common type of contractual agreements here. We're not talking about a very specific additional. This, if I'm gonna do, well, let's think of it in the simple terms. A mortgagee is an additional insured on a homeowner policy if there happens to be a mortgagee involved, right? So they have an interest in that homeowner policy, the property specifically, right? So this is no different. You have a contractual agreement to provide fire service. The township is paying for those services. And so per that, if we do not have potential protection, if we're drawn in, if we get named, the township gets named in a suit that is originates from fire services, right? It's possible we're going to name, trust me, I see these suits. Everybody gets named, their brother, the dog, if he has a name, all that good stuff is true, right? That's nothing. That's just the way that things are.
We live in a litigious society.
Very
That's
much
an
so.
attorney's job.
It is their job. They're doing their
Whether
job.
we like it
and
or
so
not.
That's why I say some of these older, potentially, I don't know when the last time this was realized, they sometimes just need to be tightened up so that everyone's kind of on the same page. It's not hurting, it's helping everyone involved on both sides of that contract. And so again, we kind of just took it after Ron's question, generally speaking, we can't be responsible for somebody else, right? But we can be drawn in per contract, potentially. We still have to defend ourselves, right? And make sure that we aren't found negligent, or whatever the type of claim is. So,
And sued for our limit of liability.
right. And so that's the number that's listed almost every time, right? So with that in mind, again, I'm willing to kind of come back and, I know both parties involved here. This is a very, very harmonious thing, and it's just everyone was tied up, but it's just kind of housekeeping things more than anything else. So.
And I'm sure we have not updated our language.
No. Can you get us a copy of your insurance?
Yeah, it's no problem.
That way we can let him review it. He can tell us what we might need to
Add to it.
add to it or
Sure,
amend or-
happy to look at it. Like I said, we can keep it on file, but really from our perspective, if something occurs, what's the first thing that everyone wants to see is everyone's insurance policies, right? Any contracts that are in play, and then they go to the letter of it and it becomes a legal matter.
The only thing I have the fire department sign is that they picked up the check.
Sure.
And that's,
Yeah,
you know,
again, it's really very, very commonly seen, right? It's just we haven't aged and it's agreement we're all gonna go into each year. It's not in dispute.
Yeah.
But we just want to
inevitable.
tighten things up, right? We need, these are things we're going to do. And so as time evolves and things and the world changes, the litigious nature is not getting less. But that's the public entity space as a whole, right? And that's why I tell people, no matter how big or how much you do or don't do, you still have exposure. And so those suits can arise. And I could give you so many examples because we serve a lot of public entities. And, you know, a lot of times it's the thing that could never happen happens, right? So that's kind of the nature of what we bring up. So I will kind of, like I said, I'll kind of wait to hear from you, Terry. Happy to look at everything and, you know, get everything tidied up on that end. So in regards to pricing, I kind of hit the hard markets out there, but the majority of the cost for township would be legal defense, right? And you've got multiple liabilities that are included in your policy. You have a general liability, which is where it all starts: bodily injury, property damage, someone claims we've caused them. So we don't have thousands of people coming in and out of this lease space, right? We're not out with a second location. We don't have a huge general liability exposure. But what you do, and what your largest would be, your public officials, directors and officers, public officials liability. And so this isn't we hurt someone physically. This is someone claimed a wrongful act from the decisions we make as a board, a trustee, or all the above, as the workings of the township occur. So that is your largest exposure if I had to put my finger on one. You've got hired and non-owned auto liability while you're utilizing your personal vehicles at the limit, which you carry $1 million per occurrence, $3 million aggregate. So all those things are kind of part of your liabilities within the general liability. And this is a little more sensitive in other types of public entities, is sexual abuse molestation protection. If there is a claim made of that, of course, it could happen or be made anywhere because of the litigious nature we live in. But this is more of a higher risk and exposure when you have Little League sports programs or those types of things for public entities.
Right.
But nonetheless, it is something, and we might be one-on-one with a citizen, you know, coming into this office. And again, you just want to make sure. So there is, but it is sublimited at 250,000, which is pretty commonly done when you see that coverage on an exposure such as this, where it's not.
Should we have a camera in here?
Wouldn't hurt. Can't hurt. It's hard to dispute cameras when someone makes a claim. Slip and falls are another thing. I mean, even though, again, we don't have thousands of people, it takes one
Right.
person slipping, hitting their head on the corner here. I'm an insurance guy, so every time I look around, I think, where could something bad happen? I mean,
Right.
that's a heck of a way to live, but I have to do that. But anyway,
That's something
and
we
we've
can talk
talked about
moving
it's definitely in today's world. I love this. What do they call those things? I always
Owl.
listen to that. I like that thing.
The
But
owl.
it's really cool. I mean, but you know, again, just documenting things, and you see what happened at Brown University, the tragedies that are all around us all the time, and the lack of
Well, for
cameras on
nothing
this.
else, for Terry's protection.
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, you're protecting everyone involved. It's no different than the conversation around the certificate and tidying up contracts and things like that. So everyone's on the same page. But yeah, so when you kind of talk about that, the increase from your cyber liability didn't change in cost. It was the same as expiring. So cyber, I cautiously say it has tempered itself from what it was 3 to 5 years ago when it was rampant, and it was just, you know, the cyber criminals from COVID just had a heyday, right? And so it just exposed that line of coverage, and then consequently we're all paying the premium to get that line of coverage solvent again, so we can have the protection we need in case we have an incident. So that has kind of leveled off to some extent, but only till the cyber criminals figure the next way they're going to try to get us, right? The other thing that's out there, so when you talk about your package, so your property, general liability, public officials, about 6%, a little over 6% increase total on the 2 counts we serve for the township. It's better than it has been in the last 3 to 5 years. And again, this is not because of losses from the case of the town. This is the overall picture of public entity and what that space is doing, what the loss experiences is. We all have to share it at some level. And so I'm still seeing those larger entities with law enforcement exposures, maybe a jail, whatever the case might be.
Just turn on the TV.
Yeah. Doubling your premium is very common in public entities, sadly. And so we're all paying it in tax. You know, we all understand that whole budgetary thing in this room. And so that's what's driving that rate. So I hate to say it, because 3 to 5% on a risk like this historically would have been what I would want to and expect to see with no change in loss experience. But 6% is definitely much more welcome than what I've seen the last few. So I'm hopeful that we're seeing the market soften just a touch. And the other thing, we don't have a ton of property cover. We have 20,000 on your equipment, and we talk each year. Does that still? Yeah, we've not changed. We have replacement cost, of course. And so if you had to retrofit, now it's all new stuff. It's not, you know, as we've talked to Terry, I don't love that desk. I wouldn't. Well, no, we got a new desk. We'll get a new desk, just like counting quality, right? So 20,000 still seems to be adequate for what we need there. And
Don't
so-
knock my tables over there because they're fragile.
Hey, that's a liability. That's been a liability.
You just look at them,
Yeah,
they
no, and, you
shake a
know,
little
if
bit.
someone sits on that and falls.
Well, they better not sit on it.
Yeah, you better get on them, better tell them, put that camera up and say, don't sit, and they do, and then you're not
Yeah.
negligent, but no, nonetheless, but yeah, those are some of the things that are happening in the space in which you're purchasing insurance in the market. So some of those that aren't familiar with HCC, Tokyo Marine, they've been in the public entity space forever. That's what they do. They insure counties. They used to, they don't anymore. Counties have been so troubled, they pulled out of that. So that's a good thing in the case of the township, because that will stabilize their book of business and their risk profile as they kind of rate for future. They non-renewed every county in the state of Indiana. At one time, they had like almost 50% of the counties in the state of Indiana. It just shows you how troubled that particular public entity space is. So those other kind of good things, they did that about 1.5 years ago. And at this point, I don't think they have a single county insured. They may have one or two. I could be incorrect about that, but they've essentially moved away from counties because of the jail exposures. So they are focusing more on the small towns, townships, and the smaller cities and those kinds of things. So that's important to know. Of course, a highly rated, A-rated insurance carrier. So, and they have all the coverages that if you were to grow times 20, they could handle your risk, just so you kind of understand who you're insured with. Cyber CFC has been insuring it since you purchased cyber. The board chose to purchase it, and I commend them because, again, not a huge exposure there, but one incident where care, custody, and control of folks' information is compromised and we have that hacked. It's not just the first party coverage you need, it's that third party coverage to make the public whole that you're serving. And the PR relations, there's a lot of different coverages within that you have purchased. I will say this from a risk mitigation perspective, any cyber incident, we all work with computers and, we get those phishing scams constantly, right? Raise your hand, phone a friend, what is this? Just hit delete if you have to, right? So you don't click on something that locks it up and then they start sucking information out and then we have an issue. But I will say if something does occur and you have something like that, contact us immediately because they're literally in your policy is a number to call. And as soon as the IT forensics teams can get in there and stop them from getting it, it can make minutes make a difference in that space. And I've seen the case studies on these claims and it's unbelievable. It would blow people's minds what they're capable of doing. And so, yeah, unfortunately, we all need cyber liability nowadays. And 10, 12 years ago, only the big folks were buying it, and so, but the cyber criminals found that the smaller businesses are a little easier to take advantage of because they didn't have the controls. But with all the focus in risk mitigation and the IT companies and the software and the folks that you're contracted with, they've all tightened everything up. And so as of right now, it is kind of stabilizing. So are there any questions that I haven't answered today or kind of an overview, concerns, anything at this point?
And as a board, I don't mean to speak for you, Ron and Laura, but I don't think we had a huge concern. You've already reached out to Greg. We didn't have a huge concern about it anyway.
Sure.
And Lucy raised the concern, but we know that she's dealing with some issues, and that's why she's not with us anymore. And
I mean, we're going to serve the entity to the best of our ability. And we've been in that space for our agency for before I was born, it's not a year before, but nonetheless, I wasn't even here yet. And so we're proud of that. And we've got the relationships across and the knowledge to kind of work in that space. And, if we put cyber liability in front of you to consider, it's because we see the exposure and you make the decision whether or not you feel like, it's worth protecting. So no, I'm really happy and pleased and with HCC and what they've done, our brokered support that we have on the backside. So it doesn't matter how big or small that question is, we're going to take it all the way down and we're going to find the right answer. And so you can make the decision there moving forward to protect yourself. So, anything else that we appreciate the township and all you do. And I will say this just on since I'm on that nice little halo or whatever you call it there. Owl, sorry.
Yeah.
Owl, like OWL.
Yes.
See his nose and his eyes. Yeah.
Darn, look at that. Isn't that
It
cute?
hoots at you when it gets on and off.
Okay, cool. I like it. I'm gonna get one of those. But yeah, I just, we serve a lot of public entities and I appreciate the service of anybody who does it because people don't know what comes at folks in those positions. If they knew all the intricate things that you're really dealing with at the end of the day, they'd have a different respect for those that serve and, knowing the challenges of what, you've kind of navigated here too. So we appreciate that. So.
And as a board, we're part-timers. we've got a lady like this here
Yep.
who is the backbone of this office.
Yep.
And we know that, and, you know, we couldn't do what we do without her.
And hopefully Terry knows we're there for her whenever she needs anything, and
Yeah.
anyone for that matter, you know, we're always gonna answer that phone. That's, you know, that's one of the things we're accessible, so. No questions too silly, and we're gonna explore all of it.
Sounds good.
One question,
Mhm.
and I know you could sell us the moon, but do you feel that we are adequately covered?
So, you know, great question. It comes off from a property standpoint. Again, we can establish those. Yeah, that'll do what we need to do. But liability, it's a hard question to answer definitively because I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring up with the suit is. What you really need to think on that limit is tort limits in the state of Indiana are $5 million per occurrence. And so a lot of public entities obviously carry that. They have more exposure and more at risk and more to lose. So what you probably need to think about is what do we have to lose and what are we trying to protect? You know, so it's a budgetary equation to some extent or another. You know, I am seeing a lot of folks purchase higher liability limits, and I think the township, we can certainly always look at higher limits. You carry that 1 million occurrence, 3 million aggregate, which means they'll pay up to 1 million per, and if you have multiple in the course of the term, they pay up to 3 million, 1, and 1, 500, 500, you know, so on and so forth. That's the general liability. Public officials is at that $1 million occurrence as well. So it's not sorry, hit the note on that. It's not like truly a yeah, you need to carry this. It's more of, you know, your business, you know what you have to lose or what you're trying to protect, I should say. And so, you know, what limit do we determine we carry? And then does it fit within our budget? You know, that's always obviously an equation. So we can always look at an excess policy of 1 million, which would then bump it up to 2 million per occurrence and 4 million, you know, of an aggregate. I think on this risk, I wouldn't expect that to be a lot of additional costs. So we're happy to do that at any time. You know, you just have to kind of let us know and we'll seek out that additional coverage. They can, and we can do that now. If you wanted me to throw an email to Terry and let you know what an additional 1 million would be. Do you have a number in mind? Is there anything outside? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I mean, again, great question. I get it often and it's just one I can't definitively answer. You know,
If you could send that to her, it wouldn't
Yeah.
hurt to
sure.
see that.
Absolutely. Just an additional 1 million.
Yeah.
Can do it. And again, that 1 million sits on your public officials, it sits on your hired and non-done, it sits on your general, all those liabilities as well, on top of it. So I'm happy to do it.
We appreciate you coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you having me. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Good luck in the basketball game. Sounds like we got some games.
Yeah,
I'm
got
going
your
to-
Christmas card up there.
Aw, that's
Yeah,
nice.
nice.
Yes, well, I'm headed over.
Not
to-
that I'm a suck up or anything, but I, you know,
I'm not
really,
complaining. I'm not
actually-
complaining about it, Terry. I love it. I like it.
actually, it may be, no, wait a minute. Amy sent me one, so I have two.
Nope, I'm headed over to a swim meet, so
Oh.
we're in Southwestern, yeah, so.
Well, you don't have very far to go. You
No.
and Greg could ride together.
Are you
Both-
watching a ball game over there?
Girls,
Okay,
yeah, girls
Is it-
tonight, boys tomorrow night.
is it varsity or, yeah? Yeah, I'm excited to see a pool that has water in it. We don't have one of those over at Madison.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got some work to do on that.
Yeah, it's happening. It's.
You
We just
and
went through that here.
Yeah.
We just went through that. Yeah.
Yeah, we helped you guys out and you helped us out. That's how that all works. So that's how it should be, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have any other questions, I'll get that quote up on that 1 million. Anything else pops up and I'll be happy to look at certificates with fire department and as they come back and forth too. And we'll prepare one for them as well. You know, it's probably a good way to tidy things up too. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Nice to
much.
meet you, Greg.
Nice to meet you as
Nice to
well.
meet you, Ed,
Absolutely.
right?
Yep.
Okay, I got it. All right.
Great.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Yeah,
You too.
take
Yes,
care. All right.
Thank you, Greg.
Have a good holiday. Good to see you.
Who holds, well, it's Lucy's bond now, but who's gonna hold the bond?
Well, the trustee will whenever,
Yeah, but who holds that? Who do you guys?
Who's the servicing company?
it's in behind Ed there in the closet. I can
The
show.
only place that I found is the one up there in the where the soil office is, River Valley Insurance.
No, we don't have it with them.
Oh, you don't?
Had it,
Okay.
no,
Somewhere else did?
yeah.
Okay. I couldn't-
Ascend maybe or something like
Who?
that. Ascend. I can. It's in there. I can just,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it till,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
we have the,
yeah. Mhm. Whoever the new person is,
yes,
30,000, is that what?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And then we have two part-time, it says on there, so it's it'll only be one part-time, but but it's 10.
Okay.
And I don't handle cash,
Hmm.
you know, I don't handle any cash. Everything's done either electronically or by check. So,
Well, Ed, welcome to our meeting.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
would you like a soft chair?
No,
You sure?
no, I
Well,
got,
I said the insurance agent could get a hard chair because we pay him a lot of money. So, here we go.
well, I'm here, A, just to meet you guys, but B, also, as you guys know, Lucy has put in her resignation letter in for December 31st, that it goes into effect, and then I have 30 days to replace her. And to be honest with you, I know no clue who I should replace her with, and I feel that you guys are probably the best people to give me a recommendation that I should speak with my executive board in terms of who we should give that, who we should ask to be. So that's why I'm here, for guidance from you all.
Well, Laura and Ron would be the two to speak to.
If Laura wants it, I don't. If she don't want it, I'll be glad to take it.
Okay,
And as
But
the
she
lone
did-
Republican on this board, I would back either one of them,
okay,
100%.
She's been on a long time. And if she decides she wants it, I want her to get it.
now, let me
Does
ask
she
you,
have some residency concerns with that, though?
Okay, so she owns a house in Hanover Township. She owns a house
Where's she
in
moving back
Republican
into?
Township. She's selling the house in Republican Township and gonna build a new house in Hanover Township. So she'll have two houses in
Hanover,
Hanover
Jefferson Manor.
behind me.
So
now, let me ask,
she's gonna pray on it and make up her mind, and we'll know in a day or two.
okay, now, let's say whether it's you or Laura, and I put that request into Tabitha at that point in time, no big deal.
Hmm.
Does that then mean I need to replace?
Yes,
A
I have
board member.
somebody for that, who is a Democrat, who has already said they would go. Nelson Neighbors.
Yeah. that's the name I was gonna give you.
Yeah, I've already talked to him three times about it. I just talked to him before coming over here to confirm.
EHLERS.
Say that one more time.
EHLERS.
Yep, Nelson is his first name.
I may have to have a raise if I have to work with him. No,
Well, we give her one raise.
no, I'm just saying Nelson, I don't know. He gives me a hard
In
time.
how many years? And then,
Right.
Yeah, he kind of gives me a hard time.
Just so that I can go on and have it, do any of you all could you share his phone number with me so that if the time comes, that I could place a phone call at that point in time?
A1 too.
Uh-huh.
Pause that for just a second. I don't think everybody.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Just hit the.
Wait a minute.
right
Is that-
there. Yep. Yeah, I didn't think if somebody. First meeting out of the gate, it
Good thing.
it goes into court in 3 days. Hey, he gets blown up. No, that'd been bad. He'd been real mad. It's funny. So she's building in Jefferson Manor?
Yeah.
They don't like living out there? Too far out?
Too far out.
It's a nice place too.
It's very nice. And they shouldn't have any problem selling it.
No, I wouldn't think so.
But they've had a time. This one's been on the market for 20 months now, I think she said.
So is it okay if I do this? As Laura and you, Ron, figure out what's gonna happen, and I heard you say, you know, if Laura doesn't do it, I'll do it, but if Terry could just, if it's okay with you guys, if Terry could contact me when the time is appropriate and let me know whom I should recommend for that position, I will do so at that point in time. And once I get that done, I will then follow up with a phone call to Nelson, and then ask him, if he would, fill the position. And then I'll get with Tabitha about that.
Sounds good.
So your timeline is goes into effect January 1st. And you need to accomplish something in the month of January as far as the trustee position.
Yes,
And then
and then
you
I have
another
30 days after,
for the board position.
yes.
Okay.
But I kind of would figure that,
The dominoes.
once I get the trustee
Yeah.
position done, hopefully I would expect no more than 5 days after that.
Right,
I should be able to put Nelson's name in at that point in time.
be pretty seamless.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Now, we do have a lot of paperwork to be signed the first part of the year. So that is a concern. Because it does ask for the trustee's name.
Well,
Here's the thing though. I recognize that Laura needs some time to figure out what she needs to do. If she figures out that time and it is December 28th, I can request, for her position to start, on January 1st at that point in time. So, we can work to try to make certain that you guys are seamless.
and if she chooses not to,
And if
Ron's
she
right,
chooses not to,
same situation.
Yeah.
if it's okay, Ron, I'm not even gonna call you. I'm just putting your name in, but you'll be telling me who it is I'm putting in regardless.
Okay,
So I'm following your lead.
but
So-
it is, our next meeting will have to be the first Tuesday after the first Monday. And in that respect, it falls on the 7th
Okay.
of January. So that would probably give us adequate time.
Yeah.
No, wait a minute, wait, 6th, the 6th.
Okay.
I knew I had 6 down here and I thought, why is that? I'm looking at 25. I took out my own calendar.
Is that right? Isn't that right? First Tuesday after the
Mhm.
first Monday?
I
Yeah,
think so.
Do you need a letter?
What's that?
Do you need a letter addressing that we're interested in that position?
I will take a letter to be safe.
Okay, but it don't say anything about that in there other than that's just the way I feel. She's had this position for, 20 years? And if
Yeah, I
she
know.
wants it, I want her to have it.
wow.
Okay,
If not, I'll be glad to do it.
okay,
And we both have the same thoughts as the way it will continue to run. So,
cool.
and I think we have probably come up with more ideas in the last year and a half, and we'll continue to do that, no matter which one of us is in that position over there,
Right.
Or that chair there.
or
Yeah,
that chair, yeah.
yeah.
So, like I said, I think we, in the last year and a half, we've
Got a pretty good group of people.
yeah, and they're willing to do things and just kind of figure stuff out. It's just kind of been stagnant. Not bad, just stagnant.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, that's awesome. And I don't want to be in your way. So, I will move as quickly as you guys give me the opportunity to.
Okay.
So, and be honest with you, it won't even hurt me to go on and to have the letter written to where all I need to do is
Insert
to
name.
get insert name, insert date. So I will just go on and write that because it's not like I don't need to have it written, but
Right.
I'll move quickly for you.
Okay, appreciate it.
Perfect. Did we have any other new business to discuss?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Any comments from the public?
Sure, yeah. So, most of you guys may or may not, know we had a fire Monday. And we did get to utilize, so the ladder truck, has been a struggle. It's not 100%, I'll just say that. We were sold a lemon. But thankfully, we are smart and we've put a lot of money in that truck. A whole bunch of money. A lot of money, a lot more than ever was anticipated. There's no question about it. So thankfully though, we did have one to utilize Monday, at that fire over here on Madison Avenue, so. But there's still a long road to go before it's actually fully functional. But we have finally got it to the place where we can actually utilize it as a ladder. We just have to have another truck with us to pump water through it, so. That's probably the best way to put that, but it did,
It functioned.
we were able to use the ladder, but we have to pump water to it. So I don't know, there's still a lot of things left to determine, with its, how this is all gonna go. And Monday was a heck of a deal. I'm sure you guys remember, it was we woke up and it was like 0 degrees outside. I mean,
Challenges all the way around.
we had every fire hydrant within arms, close by was frozen solid. I mean, it was rough. I mean, when I stepped out of my fire gear, it kept standing up, from all the ice. So, I went through, I don't know how many air cylinders, and every time I'd come out, everything was frozen solid. So instead of just doing a quick change, they're all beating it. I'm going, quit moving me around. I'm trying to take a break, so, no, so it ended up with, we were hoping to not have to utilize it, but finally just, out of firefighter safety and being able to get water above to get down on it. I said, guys, we're just gonna have to try to bring it over here and make the best of the bad, and utilize it. So, we were able to use our other truck to pump water through it to utilize the devices that are.
Well, for the time being, you would always have a pumper there first anyways.
Oh, yeah. For the most part, yeah. So it's been interesting, but we were able to utilize it on a fire, so that's good.
There's no loss of life, so.
Yeah, no loss of life, yeah, just,
positive.
it's just an old unfortunately, when a fire gets in the attic spaces and in the void spaces.
These old houses, there's now.
And man, it just gets in there and it's hard to get it out. And with everything being so cold, when it gets hot and then you put water on it, then it steams. Well, it doesn't, when it's that cold, it steams that much more. So then is that steam or smoke, or are we even doing anything, or what the heck's going on? So then you got to stop for a minute and let it all clear out, and then you got to reassess, so it was just, it was very interesting. We had a heck of a day. But we were able to get it set up and get it around. Luckily we had access where that house is. We had access to the back of the house through the post office parking lot. Had it not been that way, it would have been different.
Yeah.
Because there's power lines and everything, it wasn't an option up front, but thankfully we were able to utilize it around back. So
That's good.
So that part did work out. So, but yeah, other than that, we'll do what we can with the contract. I don't foresee there being any major issues to signing don't say, well, Corey said it was okay. Obviously it would be a whole department issue.
Let's work on 2027.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, yeah.
Don't you think so, Ron?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it sounds pretty simple. It sounds like it just wants to be added. That's why I was trying to get plain talk out of him.
An additional insured.
Additional insured, and then he kind of mentioned it once, but it sounds like a hold harmless and an indemnity clause.
Yeah.
I've written 1,000 of those for different things, so it's not hard language to add in there. So, and like I said, I'm sure that there's nobody over there that, it's not like it's not like a battle.
Yeah, it's pretty standard. Well, this is pretty standard stuff.
And exactly like he said, I mean, language has changed drastically. I'm sure the last time the actual language of that contract has been visited was
You and I
you
were
can read
still
it.
wet behind the ears,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. That probably dates back to long before typewriters and handwritten. I'm sure we still have, I don't know how far your records go back here, but we've got some old records over at the firehouse from some of the original guys. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of that doesn't date back to 60s, early 70s.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, other than that, that's,
Good deal.
yeah, worked out well. I'm sure that won't be a problem.
Well, thank you for getting me
Yeah,
set up on
absolutely.
this,
Yeah.
and that's,
Mhm.
it's a requirement, so we have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but from one township to another, we appreciate
Mhm.
your
Yeah.
assistance that you provide
Yeah.
us and
Yeah, absolutely.
so
And
the way things should be.
yeah, and I guess now to kind of take it off from the fire department and go to township, as some of you probably either seen on Facebook or already know, I do attend as the Saluda Township trustee through the ITA, the Indiana Township Association. I kind of got put into the Jefferson County Coordinator position as the trustee to be the liaison for Jefferson County through the ITA. Anybody that, that's where I set up. You guys may, I know, well, actually, Ron, you were there. Greg, I don't know if you knew or not, but I set up our, last year, I set up our first trustees meeting. All the trustees in Jefferson County got together and we actually had a coordinated meeting for the first time, and nobody else, who knows?
Yeah.
So that was good for all of us to get together and network a little bit. One of the things that I still need to iron some of these details out. One of the things that might be happening is I also may be moving into the Southeast Area Director's position for the ITA and providing that service. One thing that I will say that was a big talking point at this past convention is that the state is going to probably this year look to either forcing mergers of townships or politely requesting them. So that might be something that we as a group, as our end of the county, we may need to look into that as a group, because I don't know what a forced merger would look like. We've kind of already seen what, and we talked before that when the House Bill 1468 came out, and then even one before that lady that was really kind of way off in the left field about it, doing away with all of them and having one township trustee. I mean, that is vastly still on the table. We are the Township Association president and director was at one of the committee meetings. I can't remember which committee it was, but they were talking to her and they were on a whole different subject. And all of a sudden one of the lawmakers goes, it kind of got quiet, and he goes, I want to know when you guys are going to merge. Are you guys going to merge, or are you going to make us merge you? And as soon as he brought that up, everybody in the room started drilling her, and she was just sitting there like a deer in the headlight, because that's not anything that they were there for, like that was not the point.
Right.
But as soon as the ball was in the court, so this whole highway road funding bill, this is a mere gateway to getting access to all of our funds. I mean, there's just no question about it. So I forecast, and I think everybody at the township at higher township levels forecast some sort of a continued crying at our
If they
budgets.
ever get that, Saluda won't even exist.
Yeah.
And we might get mentioned from Madison, but Madison refers to Hanover as
Oh,
the
yeah.
bastard stepchildren.
Been that way
Remember,
for
I
years.
worked down there for 30 years, I know.
Yeah, yep.
So,
The only saving grace that Saluda has is that we technically own the park. And I trying to get and I don't even know if that's a true saving grace, but having that piece might, I don't know. But like you say, they don't, I think everybody in the room, I don't know where you live, maybe you don't, but well, come out here and live out here for a little while, and you'll see how far the cordial attitudes extend out this far. So a lot of folks that live out this way feel like.
But you take the Smyrna townships and the other smaller townships that really have nothing.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
Yeah, there's, like,
100%.
how many is there? 10?
Yeah, and I will say now,
In the county.
and here's the one thing that I do know, no questions asked. this house, the highway road funding bill, this 1468 that did get through. If you did not go through with your,
Capital improvement plan.
capital, that CIP, you were not gonna get money this next year.
Oh,
They were 1,000,000% adamant when they got up and talked about that. And
And
at
some
that
of them that
time,
did still didn't get money.
yeah, and so
But
it's
you're out.
definitely, I mean, they are going to whittle it away. I mean, there's no question about it.
Yeah.
And they've been talking about this for years.
Oh, yeah.
They've
And
been,
that,
but not quite as serious as what it is right now.
You're starting to see action.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And so the old, and they say, oh, they've done that for 30 years. They go, well, they're putting they're putting the tool to the grindstone now because they're sharpening them up. They're
Well,
gonna,
they're hurting for money, so they're looking for
mm,
every nickel they can find.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So I know that you're vested in this because of your participation.
Absolutely.
And I know, Ron, you stay well versed in
I
it
try
and
to.
connected. So, between the two of you, personally, I look at both of you for guidance on that. So, just keep us all in the loop
Yeah,
on what happens
absolutely.
and what we need to do. And, if we don't want to be forced to do anything. So, if we have to act, we'll act accordingly.
Mhm.
But just,
So it's just, I move up to the trustee's position. I want to go to the state meetings
Mhm.
so I can learn more.
Mhm.
So I try to read, and,
Well, I bet it's just like the 1468, not to cut you off, but it's just like they wrote the bill,
yeah.
and then the people that wrote the bill, oh, well, we'll figure that out later. Well, what the hell? It went in effect. It went in effect 30 days ago. You don't know what now we'll figure that out down the road.
Yeah.
But that's the law that they set, and now we have to follow it, and we've got to hop, skip, and jump around, and you try to read it, and you're like, you bring it to them like, well, what does this mean? Oh, well, the sky's blue, and then, it's like ADD, they go, oh, look, a squirrel, and
I know.
deflect, and
Yeah.
makes no sense.
I know. I read state laws for years, so I know how they write them.
Very, very opaque and not very,
We can interpret it how we want to tomorrow.
yes, absolutely, yeah.
Flying by the seat of their pants.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I do love this legislative session. They're not done. They're not done, and one of the big things was, and I don't know, I haven't looked at your CIP, but we didn't, I mean, obviously we have to create a fund, so just after the first year, if you guys need to talk
I already
about,
got it.
you did create the fund, right?
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
my fund.
But there is no, we didn't put any money in it.
No.
I don't know, I
I
didn't know.
know, I know.
But it's funny, we were all up there talking about this and people, I was struggling to understand how some of these folks just weren't understanding. Make your CIP so that there's nothing to fund it with. Why are you going to potentially give up 30% of your budget?
and that's what we did as a board, and
Yeah.
with Terry's help, made sure that everything was handled.
And
So that-
supposedly, the way they wrote it is that you guys, if you had put 30% of anything in there, it could only get spent in Hanover Township, and you would still have access to, it would have to be the way that you wrote your interlocal agreement.
Mhm.
But that is just another gateway to, if you didn't write your interlocal agreement the right way, that 30%
It's gone.
wasn't gonna go to Hanover
They're gonna
Township.
snatch that.
That 30% was gonna go to wherever the heck it needed, whether
Yeah.
it was ditches in.
Marion County.
Timbuktu.
Yeah, so, I look for another, battle, with state legislatures this year for township government.
Well, again,
And I tell you, I will say though, that this fall has been a huge showing as to why having township government is and can be more beneficial to keep them around versus getting rid of them with this whole SNAP benefit situation and the lack of, during the government shutdown, because we have fluid budgets. We have the ability to get 3 people together and create an additional appropriation because we have extra funds.
Mhm.
We're not running off of what Uncle Sam writes a check. Well, Uncle Sam didn't cut a check today, so we don't, wonder why we've been keeping money back in our coffers, right?
Right.
For that exact reason. And so we were able to, people were like, well, how can you do that? Because we are not, although we are a government entity, we are not Uncle Sam. We're
here to help our citizens.
we are your money, you know,
Yeah.
so we'll see if they get smart. If they don't, then it'll be a fight, so. But absolutely. But I hope that we can all continue, you know, we have been working well
Yeah.
together, and I do encourage that for in the future, and we'll do, you know, from down there what we can for up here, so.
Vice versa, communication's key and the lines are open and I think we do a good job helping everybody.
The parade is Saturday, Christmas parade. That doesn't really affect you, Terry, but anybody you guys know, we'll do our parade Saturday,
I'll be
starting
in
at 6:30.
Indianapolis at the Purdue game.
I'll go out on the front porch and
Wave.
6:30?
6:30, we'll start at the firehouse and make all of our little loopy-loos and.
Madison's doing theirs too.
I always.
They already
say
did.
that.
No, they already did it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not the downtown one, their fire department. They're doing one Saturday.
Oh, are they?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I saw it on
Okay,
Facebook today.
copycats.
Yeah, they are.
We did. We really did. We started. Yeah, we started about 2 or 3 years before them, and then
You don't know how many things Hanover starts, and then they take the credit for it.
The Grinch is having a brunch here on Monday.
Oh, really?
Yes.
He came to see us yesterday.
Oh, he did? Yeah,
Oh,
oh, I saw
yeah.
that.
He
Yes,
is
I
so
did.
good.
Little green creature.
He is so good.
Good.
Well, Corey, thank you for coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ed, thank you for coming
You-
Yes.
and for your guidance to help us get all of the positions filled. And
I'll make a motion, we close the meeting.
before you do that,
Okay,
while we're on record, I would like to, I know Lucy isn't here, but I would like to thank her for her years of service and the dedication that she has put into Hanover Township in that position, and then as well as the trustee, but she
Mhm.
served our township well for many, many years.
Mhm.
And I don't want that to go unnoticed, and I
Mhm.
thank her for everything that she's done for all of us in this room as well as the township, so.
Would a outside recommendation or maybe a plaque?
Yes,
well, I just was gonna say, should we get her a plaque or a certificate of something?
yeah, I'm gonna personally take care of that.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay,
Okay.
make a motion, we adjourn.
I second that motion. All in favor? Meeting is closed.
2 eyes.
6:07.
6:07.
That's all it takes is 2 eyes.
This is a long meeting for us.
I tell you, when the solar thing was going through and all those people showed up, my dad sat on the advisory board in Slough Township for